Still in local news, the United National Party charges that a number of incidents that have taken place around the country point to the collapse of law and order.
අද වෙනකොට රටේ සෑම ප්‍රදේශයකම වාර්තා වෙන පුජ්‍යල ඝාතන, පැහැර ගැනීම,
murders, kidnappings, rape, child abuse and robberies are taking place across the country. We see an increase in such crimes. The rule of law has collapsed and bribery and corruption are reigning supreme. Everyone knows this very well.
නීති ආධිපත්‍ය බිඳ වැටිලා. අල්ලස දූෂණයේ රජ වෙලා. මේවා හැම පුජ්‍යලයකම දැන් වෙනකොට හොඳින් වටහාගෙන තිබෙනවා.
The parliamentarian also questioned the government's Matata Thita program.
සන්දාන ආණ්ඩුවේ ප්‍රමුඛතම සටන් පාතයක් තමයි මතට තිත සංකල්පය. බලන්න රට තුල
The Matata Thita program is one of the main slogans of the government. However, the amount of alcohol that is being produced in the country has increased significantly. 96 million litres of alcohol were produced locally in 2009. This rose to 120 million litres in 2010. If the Matata Thita program is being implemented, how can there be such an increase in alcohol production?
මතට තිත නම් කොහොමද මේ තරම් ශීඝ්‍ර වර්ධනයක් මත්පැන් නිෂ්පාදනයේ රට තුල ඇති වුණේ කියලා අපට අහන්න සිද්ධ වෙනවා.
Elsewhere in the country, Inspector General of Police N.K. Langakon says that although most countries experience an increased crime rate following civil wars, this has been prevented in Sri Lanka. The IGP expressed this view at an event in Maharagama today.
The fifth phase of the program to raise awareness amongst police personnel on providing a people-friendly service was held at the Youth Services Council in Maharagama today. With the civil war, the circulation of weapons increased. The weapons used during the war have now gone to other areas. These weapons have got into the hands of criminals and gangs have been created. When peace is established, criminal gangs surface. They have the necessary weapons to rise up. They know how to use these weapons and therefore most countries in the world are plagued by criminal gangs following a war. We see today that in most instances, 50, 60 or 70% of the time in cases of robberies, house breakings and murders, the T-56 is used. If we did not control these groups, then our country would have faced the same destructive fate that has befallen other countries in the world.
The US Embassy in Colombo has issued a media release clarifying the testament of Ambassador-designate Michelle J. Sison on Sri Lanka before the US Congress. Sison on the 6th of June had testified before the Senate Foreign Relations Committee as part of a confirmation process as President Barack Obama's nominee for ambassador to Sri Lanka and the Maldives. The media release states that in her statement, Sison reiterated long-standing US policy towards Sri Lanka, including calls for further demilitarization of the North, provincial council elections in the North, and mechanisms to deal with outstanding human rights issues. The US Embassy release note that Sison's testimony is in accordance with US policy as well as previous statements by US officials and also reflects the issues discussed during Secretary Hillary Clinton's recent meeting with the Ministry of External Affairs.
Controversy over the purchase of shares of the finance company by the National Savings Bank. NSB employees protest alleging irregularities in the share transaction. Chairman of the National Savings Bank Pradeep Karyavasam resigns. Although the chairman has resigned, we request a proper investigation of this transaction. Securities and Exchange Commission grants approval to reverse share transaction. Complaint lodged at the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption. What is the present status of the investigation?
About few days back, a complainant came with a complaint by way of a petition and handed it over to the Commission. Now that petition or the complaint is under investigation. We are proceeding with the investigation.
Moving on to some Olympic news now. Under the leadership of Cuban coach Rigoberto Medina, Guatemala's Olympic race walkers are confident that they will return winners from the 2012 Olympics in London with medals to show for their efforts.
Two men in particular, Daniel Cuyich and Eric Barando, are undoubtedly important to Medina's plans. Neither of the two men grew up with plans of Olympic race walking glory. 32-year-old Cuyich won a bronze medal at the 2011 Pan American Games in Mexico with a time of 3 hours 50 minutes and 33 seconds in the 50-kilometer walking event. Cuyich said that he's come a long way from the grinding poverty of his past in Guatemala, where he worked in a clothing factory. 20-year-old Barando, on the other hand, is a former distance runner who began race walking as a way to recover from injury. At the Pan American Games, Barando won a gold medal in the men's 20-kilometer walk event with a time of 1 hour 21 minutes and 15 seconds. Previously, Barando had participated in the 2011 Dublin International Race Walking Grand Prix in Ireland, where he came in 4th place.
Meanwhile, the Olympic flame was on its single longest journey today as it travelled from Stornoway to Aberdeen.
The Olympic torch relay covered more than 400 miles on day 24 of its 70-day journey today. Windy conditions put out two flames in lanterns as people gathered at the Stones Monument to see the torch lit at sunrise. The day's relay will end in Aberdeen at Castlegate Square for an evening celebration later tonight.
Getting back to more local news, Director of the Lady Ridgeway Hospital Specialist Dr. Ratnasiri A. Hevage says that there has been a change in symptoms of dengue. He stated that pediatricians are focusing on the new scenario. He also said that there was an increase in the number of children being admitted to the Lady Ridgeway Hospital with dengue.
Our correspondent who visited the hospital said that most of these admitted to the hospital were little children. 1,550 children have been admitted to hospital with dengue in the first 5 months of this year. The director of the hospital stated that 9 children had died from dengue. 1,315 children had been admitted to hospital with symptoms of dengue, while the condition of 213 children had been serious. Another 22 were in shock caused by dengue. A correspondent stated that doctors of the hospital were seen putting a great effort to treat the children suffering from dengue. We inquired from specialist Dr. Devan Mendes regarding the change in symptoms. There is a significant change. Previously it was possible to detect dengue with clear symptoms, but now it is hard. Children with different symptoms later turn out to be dengue patients. When we carry out blood tests on children who are initially diagnosed with encephalitis, sometimes they turn out to be dengue patients. We have encountered such situations on numerous occasions. Therefore, we are paying much attention towards this.
Sudden increase of cases in dengue can lead to shortage of most of the services to the other patients of the hospital. Therefore, we please and we beg from the public, please don't wait till you get the dengue. So please act before that. Clean your gardens, clean your area. Please have dengue control measures always, so that we can face this difficult situation.
A tense situation developed between two groups of parents at a school in the Pasyala area in Newtimber today.
Parents of students in grade 3 and 4 of the Pasyala Primary School staged a demonstration this morning, charging that the principal of the school is attempting to transfer a group of teachers at the school. Grade 3 and 4 play a pivotal role in a child's education. If this is not done properly, children will not reach grade 5. Meanwhile, another group arrived at the location in support of the principal. A heated situation evolved between the two groups. We did not come here to harm anyone. We came here on behalf of our children. We are here because we want our children to be educated properly.
Evening classes commence with the consent of teachers and parents. They are trying to disrupt the program launched by the principal.
Welcome back to the news. According to the police, an ambulance driver serving at the Katuwana hospital has committed suicide after attacking a nurse at the hospital with a sharp weapon.
According to the police, the incident had taken place at around 9:30 p.m. last night. Police media spokesperson SP Ajit Rohana said that the injured nurse is currently receiving treatment at the Ambedipitiya hospital. He added that the individual who had attacked the nurse had later committed suicide by hanging himself in the garage of the hospital. The Katuwana police is conducting further investigations into the incident.
Minister of Social Services Felix Pereira points out that society has to face the harmful effects of moonshine as a legal variety has not been introduced in a proper manner.
Even when we were in the Samasamaja party, Dr. N.M. brought forward a proposal to allow 2 bottles of toddy to be manufactured by villagers. But so many opposed it. Then a quarter-size bottle was proposed considering the price factor. However, that too created much controversy. But since the legal methods were not properly introduced to society, the harmful effects of moonshine have increased. Now it's not sold in bottles, it's even sold in polythene packets. The graduation ceremony of those who completed their masters in social service at the National Social Development Institute was held at the BMICH today. Minister of Social Services Felix Pereira presided at the event.
Now, the Federation of University Teachers Associations reiterates that officials should provide immediate solutions to the issues faced by non-academic staff at universities.
The trade union action initiated by university non-academic staff on the 6th of this month was in effect today as well. The Joint Trade Unions Committee of Non-Academics of Universities said they would continue their strike until proper solutions are provided for their issues. Meanwhile, media spokesperson of the Federation of University Teachers Association, Dr. Mahim Mendis, says that it is the responsibility of the government to fulfill the promises made to the non-academic staff.
And at this moment of time, the university non-academic staff is facing a crisis because since 2006, the government has not been able to fulfill the promises given to these people. We ask in the government as to how they failed to fulfill the promises given to the people. We, the Federation of University Teachers, only want the government to fulfill what has not been fulfilled from 2006, and tomorrow in the discussions with the Labour Commissioner, we want the government to think in a far-sighted manner and provide a meaningful solution so that there will be stability and order in the university system.
News First made inquiries in this regard from the Secretary to the Minister of Higher Education, Dr. Sunil Jantanavaratna. He stated that another decision would be held tomorrow regarding the issues faced by university non-academic staff. Meanwhile, activities at several universities were disrupted due to the ongoing strike. Vice-Chancellor of the Colombo University, Professor Shanika Hiriburegama, Vice-Chancellor of the Ruhuni University, Professor Susirit Mendes, and Vice-Chancellor of the Rajarata University, Professor K.A. Nandasena confirmed this to our news team.